Hi, welcome to another Colors of Prague. My name is Louis Paul. This is the Podbean YouTube and Facebook channel where I discuss progressive rock recordings, music from past and present. So this is Season 2, Episode 22. This is the last one of Season 2. And this is like the best of for me, personally. It's all subjective. Music is all subjective anyway, isn't it? And there's so much progressive rock, progressive music, there's symphonic, there's classically influenced, there's jazz, fusion, it just metal, prog, yes, extreme metal prog. It's all out there. So there's a lot of recordings I enjoyed and I was quite taken with over the year of 2022. Actually, what did we do years lately because of the pandemic? 2021, 2022. Anyway, be that as it may, I decided on about five. And this does not mean that anything else I really enjoyed, I did not like as much, but these are the ones I wound up playing more often than others. And I'll just get right to it. Big Train. Welcome to the planet. This happens to be the last recording with David Longdon, who passed away, I believe, before this was released. So they managed to finish the recording, Welcome to the Planet, with his vocals and whatever they had available. I was aware of Big Train for a long time, and would listen but not pay much attention. And then I finally did pay attention. I worked my way back from this one. So this is a CD that I play quite often. Big Train. Who knew? I did not know that they were so interesting. This is on English Electric Recordings. Pretty much their own label, which is why it's so bloody hard to find their stuff sometimes. Describing them, they're a bit symphonic. Think Genesis. David Longdon had a voice sometimes similar to Peter Gabriel, sometimes to Phil Collins, and sometimes his own voice. He did manage to finish a solo album, but again, he passed away before that was released, but that was finished and released after this, by the way. So Big Train, Welcome to the Planet. Big surprise for me. I really enjoyed it. Next, I mentioned Dave Bainbridge in the last episode, and here he goes again. Life Signs, Altitude. What an album. Only 8 songs. First one, Altitude, is 15 minutes plus. Ivory Tower is almost 8 minutes. There's a 10-minute. They're long tracks in the Prog tradition. Is John Young, keyboards and vocals. John Poole, bass, backing vocals. Dave Bainbridge, guitars, keyboards, backing vocals, or whatever else they have. Zoltan Kozark, drums and percussion. And I have to say, Life Signs has been around for a bit. And this came out in, I believe, late 2021. And it was recorded in 2020 during lockdown. It's a pretty good album. It's a really good album. It's very tuneful, and it's quite interesting what they could do with just a few guys. I mean, all songs written and composed by John Young. And I've seen the band live, and they somehow managed to pull it off. It's quite interesting. John has this looks like a keyboard laptop setup where he's doing stuff with his vocals as well as playing some kind of keyboard patterns on there. And then Dave Bainbridge is also playing keyboards when not playing the guitar. So it's a very interesting band. They're really going at it. They're really trying to play as much as possible as pandemic gets lifted in some countries. But there's still that specter out there. Anyway, so Life Signs. They're on Facebook. www.facebook.com Signs Life and lifesignsmusic.co.uk, and they're on Twitter. So, I mean, if you just typed in Life Signs, you would find out information about it. Really, one of my favorite recordings of the year. Who knew? Now, the big surprise was Marillion. An hour before it's dark. Now, I've seen Marillion a few times live in recent years, and I really enjoy them. And I really enjoy the years when Fish was singing with them. Steve Hogarth has been with the band for some time. Marillion's had some quite interesting albums, Marbles being one. But I would say as a whole, some of the Marillion albums just didn't really grab me with Hogarth, entirely as a piece. This is great stuff. This is brilliant. This is probably the best thing they've ever done since Fish left. It's downbeat. It's a bit dig deep into the well of despair. It's the Hogarth, or as they call him, refer to him as H by the faithful. There's just not bad song on here. Be hard on yourself. You can learn, reprogram the gene. Only a Kiss, Murder Machines. I would say if you met someone and said, "Oh, I really like Marillion," they're probably thinking, "Oh, they're that metal band, right?" And they're not. They're not a metal band. They're a band in and of themselves. They have like their own sound. It's God, it's. I've been through this before. It's almost hard to describe Marillion, but in a way, they've been out there for a long time, and they have a very, very stoic fan following. And they don't tour that often, but what they do is they have events where they'll play a weekend somewhere, or they'll play 4 days somewhere in a particular country. Canada, they do that sometimes. Argentina, I believe. And an hour before it's dark. It's shockingly good. It's one I played a lot, and I still do. All right, we're going over to Italy next. Of course, you knew, if you watch this, you'll know I really like Italian progressive rock. RPI, Rock Progressive Italiano. Yes, that's a thing. And I listened to a lot of older music this past year. And I've listened to a lot of newer music this past year. And both of these are the same but different. And they're not exactly new, but La Mestiera di Sera. Translated to The Gates of Tomorrow. And Mestiera di Sera, Mask of Wax Mask. The band is led by Fabio Zaffanti, and I'll get to the singer on another episode. Basically, what Wax Mask, or Mask of Wax, did with La Porta del Domani, aka The Gates of Tomorrow, Here's an English version and the original Italian language version. Is they took Le Arme's Falona e Sorone, expanded it, and made new music. So they didn't cover that album. What they did was they took the themes from that very famous Italian progressive rock album by Le Arme from, I believe, 74, 73, and created their own work. It's incredible. It's just I reviewed this at length in a previous episode. Pardon, but found out that I really returned back to this. In the same year they released this, they released a version all in English language. Now, in some cases, when Italian bands do this, they just re-record the tracks of the vocals. They re-recorded the whole album. So, that's an interesting thing. Highly recommend Maschera di Sera. Finally, which you may be hearing in the background, the last recording released by Klaus Schulze before his passing in the last spring, Dune Aricus. Klaus Schulze was an original member of Tangerine Dream, Ashra Temple, other bands. He's a pioneer of electronic music, and it's a shame that he's no longer with us, but he's very fascinated with the Frank Herbert Dune works. And this, amazingly, 75 minutes long. How do they get this on a CD nowadays? A single one. It's just really, really good. I play this often. You could use this as meditation music. You could use this as, hey, you want to hear something different? It's when I mean meditation music for the more free-thinking, outlying thought process people, it's really quite good. It's just, again, those are my why I didn't pick 10. I listen to too much music. So Big Train, welcome to the planet. And they have a new singer, and more information will be announced soon. They're going to be on tour, at least in 2024. There's probably be a new recording before then. Same with Life Signs, Altitude. Marillion, an hour before it's dark. Maschera di Sera, The Gates of Tomorrow, in the Italian version. La Porta del Domani. And finally, Klaus Schulze, Deus Aricus. Those were my choices and my favorite for 2022. Thanks for listening. I'm going to be back very shortly with another episode of Season 3. Wow. Thank you.